Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on cover letters, resumes, and interviews. This assignment is a great way to collaborate with the instructional team in helping you prepare for this important step in your career. Today, we will be going over cover letters, resumes, how to make your documents stand out, interviews, and what to expect in your job hunt. Let's go over some general questions. Why do I have to do a cover letter and resume? Although some students find this a daunting task, we want you to be job ready the day you graduate. Upon graduation, Transcribe will provide you with a list of potential employers. You will be in a position to start applying for jobs the same day you graduate. How do I submit my cover letter and resume? You will upload your submissions through the Dropbox in the course. An instructor will review your documents and offer comments and suggestions, which are returned back to you through the Dropbox. What is required to pass the assignment? You must achieve a minimum grade of 85%. We will be discussing the specifics of how you are graded later in the presentation. When do I need to complete my cover letter and resume and interview? You must complete this assignment at any time within the career development course. It is highly recommended not to leave this until after you have completed your career development transcriptions. You cannot move past the career development course until you have passed these three components. What is the purpose of a cover letter? A cover letter is a one-page business letter that you will submit along with your resume when applying for a job. Your cover letter should convey to the employer why you're a great candidate for the role. Do I address my cover letter to a specific company, and do I apply to a specific position? You may create your cover letter in one of two ways. You can either look for an ad and pretend that you are applying for that specific position within that company, or you can make up a position. Use letter format. Company names, addresses, and contacts can be real or fictitious, but should be included in the letter. Keep in mind that the cover letter should not exceed one page. Please refer to the course material for examples of formatting the cover letter. Your cover letter should include the following information in this order: your name and return address, date, recipient name and address, subject line referencing the job ID or posting number, for example, a proper opening salutation, such as "to whom it may concern." The body of the letter is usually 3 to 4 paragraphs. A signature line, and enclosure notation if you are enclosing your resumes. As mentioned earlier, the cover letter is graded using the evaluation checklist. Let's take a look at that in more detail. You will find an evaluation checklist for the cover letter and resume in the career development course. You should review the checklist to ensure that you have included all of the necessary components you will be scored on. Please note that your grade for this assignment does not contribute towards your final grade, but it is necessary to pass before advancing to the next course. Cover letter should be brief, maximum of 3 to 4 paragraphs on one page. Relevant, pertinent information only. Professional in layout with proper punctuation, grammar, and vocabulary throughout. Consistent font and formatting throughout. Use spell check. Read it out loud. Does it look professional? Remember, you are looking for a position where proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation are essential. Include student name, address, phone numbers, email address, and date. Introduction includes the name of the position applying for, recipient name and address, and proper opening salutation. Is your contact information easily found? Companies may have a number of different positions available. Make sure the job you are applying for is clearly identified. Demonstrates relevancy and enthusiasm for the job you are applying for, why they should choose you. Does research to find reasons to work for that organization? What appeals to you about this organization? What MT skills are you bringing to the table? Check the company website. What skills are they looking to fill for this position? What do you like about this organization? These reasons could include things like company's general reputation, culture and values, growth and success. Desired letter outcome. Availability for an interview and how to contact you concludes by thanking the person for their consideration, etc. Includes a proper closing salutation. Reiterate your phone number and email information. Finish with a proper business closing such as sincerely or regards. Jane Smith is applying for an entry-level MT position. Let's look and see if Jane has fulfilled the evaluation checklist requirements. Let's review Jane Smith's submission and see how she made out. Jane has a one-page letter with relevant, pertinent information only. It looks professional, and she has used proper grammar, punctuation, and consistent formatting throughout. Jane has satisfied the first criteria. Jane has included her name, address, phone number, and email address. She has included the date. She has referenced the position she is applying for. She has included the recipient name and address. She has included a proper opening salutation. Jane has satisfied the second criteria. Jane has demonstrated why they should choose her and listed the skills she learned in the program. Note how she has identified this in her first and second paragraph as to why they should choose her. I have recently graduated from the Transcribe Medical Transcription Healthcare Documentation Program. A few highlights of my skill set include the latest training in medical transcription, extensive hands-on experience, including transcribing over 1,000 dictations, successful completion of a 100-hour practicum, ESL experience, and speech recognition experience. She has identified why she would like to work for this company. She would be thrilled to start her new career with your company. Your company's excellent reputation for employee satisfaction and advancement is something that is of great interest to me. Jane has satisfied the third criteria. Jane confirms her availability for an interview and how to contact her. She thanks the person for their consideration and includes a proper closing salutation. Jane has satisfied the fourth and final criteria. She has passed the cover letter assignment. Okay, we have the skills, we've gained some experience, and possess a desire to be a great MT. How do we put this all together to let a prospective employer know that we're the right person for the job? Let's start with a look at some general questions. How long should a resume be? Keeping your resume to one page helps hiring managers see your best qualifications quickly. How do I submit my resume? All submissions and feedback will be received through the Dropbox in the Career Development Program. On my resume, how far back do I go for my employment history? Under most circumstances, we would say that listing any work experience gained over the past 10 years is appropriate, but it depends on how many jobs you have and how relevant those jobs are to the medical transcription field. We recommend not including more than 3 positions. What if I have no work history? Instead of listing the work experience, focus on your education and the skills you have acquired in the Transcribe Medical Transcription Program. I have previous work experience, but I have not been in the workforce for the past 10 years. Instead of listing your previous jobs, you can include a summary of qualifications section of 2 or 3 sentences to summarize all of your skills, which could include those earlier ones. For example, summary of qualifications. I possess over 20 years of professional experience in the accounting field, preparing tax returns and bookkeeping. Throughout my career, I have worked directly with numerous clients and software programs. Are there any sites that can help format my resume? Yes, and we will cover 4 of them a little later in the presentation. Similar to the cover letter, the resume is graded using the resume evaluation checklist found in the course. Let's take a look at that in more detail. You will find an evaluation checklist for the resume in the career development course. You should review the checklist to ensure that you have included all of the necessary components that you'll be scored on. Please note that even though your grade for this assignment does not contribute toward your final grade in the MTHSD program, MTHDS program, it is still necessary to pass your cover letter and resume to move on to the next course. Let's take a look at the criteria. Constructs and proofreads resume, identifying and correcting errors prior to submission. Uses consistent font and formatting throughout and is professional in layout and vocabulary. Contact information is easy and quick to read. Resume content is relevant, brief, and includes only pertinent information. Career objective statement clearly states the purpose of your resume. Skills related to transcription are clearly and concisely highlighted. Employment history uses only history relevant to MT work. Details should be brief, informative, and specific. Education uses only formal education. Details should be brief, informative, specific, and formatted correctly. Let's review a resume. Let's see how Jane Smith did. Looking at the rubrics, did she meet the criteria? After thorough proofreading and spell checks, she has fulfilled the first criteria. Jane has used a consistent font and formatting throughout. She has fulfilled the second criteria. She has laid out her resume with all of the impertinent information and has not included non-essential information, all done nicely on one page. She has fulfilled the third criteria. The career objective is most useful if your objective is different than the rest of your resume would indicate. If you have never worked in this field, it will make it clear that you are changing your career. Jane has clearly outlined her career objective and has fulfilled the fourth criteria. You have just completed a 1-year, hands-on, comprehensive online program learning about and transcribing reports on all major body systems and medical specialties. Be sure to let them know the skills you have acquired. Jane has laid this out clearly and concisely. Let's take a closer look. Knowledge of AHDI Book of Style, compliant with account specifics, transcribed about 1,000 medical reports, acute care reports and clinic notes, ESL experience, speech recognition editing experience, completed 100-hour practicum, WARP transcription platform experience, proficient in Microsoft Word and Office. Jane has fulfilled the fifth criteria. Note that Jane's work experience is not directly related to transcription, so she has only briefly summarized her duties. Jane has fulfilled the sixth criteria. And she has passed the resume portion of the assignment. Okay, how can I make my resume stand out? There are a number of free resume building resumes available, but we will look at just a few of them today. If you are using Microsoft Word, you will have a number of template formats available to you. To find a template to use for your resume, go to File, open a new document, go to File, New, In the search box, type resume and cover letter or cover letter. Double-click the template you want to use and replace the placeholder text with your own information. Canva.com is a good site to investigate. Click on templates, business, and then resume. Scroll through the resume styles and select the one that suits you best. You can add your picture if you wish and tailor the details to your own. My Perfect Resume is another great site that allows you to pick your template first or insert your information and select the template later. It is very easy to use. It will prompt you for your contact information and work history, etc. Your resume will appear on the right-hand side of the page. flowcv.com is a site that also will prompt you for each detail and then places it into the template you choose. Also very easy. This site, however, only allows you to do one free resume and cover letter, and then there is a small fee if you want to do different styles. As you complete the details, the information appears on your resume. Okay, let's go over what we've learned. The cover letter, resume, and interview assignments must be completed before leaving the career development module. All documents will be submitted through the drop box in the program. Submit your documents in a PDF format if possible. Feel free to use templates. However, the CanScribe instructors cannot help you with the resume making apps. Once you have passed the cover letter and resume assignment, you'll be prompted to submit your interview times. Okay, let's talk about the interview. Let's go over some general interview questions. When do I complete my interview? Once you have passed the cover letter and resume assignment, you will be prompted to submit 3 interview times. You will then be contacted by email with the date of the interview. How is the interview conducted? The interview is conducted over the phone. You will receive a call on the date and time located in the confirmation email. What is required to pass this assignment? You must achieve a minimum grade of 85%. When do I need to complete my cover letter, resume, and interview? All 3 must be completed before you can move on from the career development course. What can I expect in the interview? We will pose as someone from an HR department of an MT company that you have applied to. You can certainly tailor your answers to a specific company, such as Acuity, or a generic MT company. How am I graded? Similar to the cover letter and resume, you will be scored using the interview evaluation checklist in the course. How long is the interview? The interview typically will take 15 to 30 minutes. The checklist is available in your course material in career development, and we strongly recommend reviewing it in preparation for your interview to ensure that you are prepared to discuss all areas you will be scored on. We also recommend reviewing your resume and cover letter to ensure that you're prepared to refer to this information during your interview. Since it's a telephone interview, you can also have any key points you want to highlight in bullet form and well organized to help guide you through the interview process. That being said, let's take a look at the interview evaluation checklist in more detail. There are 10 criteria to fulfill. Let's go over each one. Student commits to, is prepared for, and participates in the interview schedule. Make sure you are prepared and in a quiet area. Be ready 10 minutes before the scheduled appointment. Have your resume and any additional notes available. Student has reviewed the interview tips document and demonstrates an understanding of the skills required of an MT-HDS. Be prepared to discuss your understanding of the need for confidentiality and accuracy, your experience with the WARP transcription platform, text expanders if applicable, book of style, etc. Student can accurately describe the role they will play in the MTHDS industry and is able to speak to their previous experiences, education, etc. that align with the requirements of this role. Again, have your resume in front of you. Let them know that you have just completed the Transcribe program. Student takes time to thoughtfully answer questions and portrays confidence. Don't rush through your answers, but don't spend too much time on any one question. Be succinct and professional. If you are asked to tell them about yourself, let them know what you have been doing professionally or educationally and what brought you to this spot. Do not spend too much time on personal issues. Do not tell them your life story. Highlight any recent positions and your recent graduation for Transcribe. Please keep it at under 2 minutes. Student is able to address what they're looking for in a company. Maybe you're looking for a company with room for advancement or one that offers ongoing training. Think about what you would like to see in a company you're working with. Student is prepared to address their career goals. Think about what you want to achieve. Perhaps your goal is just to be an efficient and productive MT and contribute to the success of an organization. Or perhaps you want to pursue your RHDS or CHDS certification through AHDI. Student addresses their ability to adapt to new computer technologies, account specifics, etc. Think about your skills. You might want to mention that you navigated the Transcribe program, which is completely online, and worked with the WARP platform transcribing both straight dictation and speech recognition, and any other relevant information. Student is prepared to address 3 professional strengths and 3 professional weaknesses. Student must be able to explain the steps they are taking to improve on their weaker areas. Think about what your strengths and weaknesses are. For example, your strengths might be things like flexibility to handle and adapt to change, enthusiasm, dedication to providing a quality work, typing speed, honesty, discipline, the ability to work on your own or as part of a team. Those are all great strengths to have. Think about your weaknesses. Some weaknesses might be things like you focus too much on details, you have trouble asking for help, maybe your typing speed is not as fast as you want it to be, or you have trouble saying no. Be sure to let them know what you're doing to improve. For example, you might want to think about saying, or this could be true for you, I am not as proficient as I would like to be with text expanders, but I'm adding 1 expansion each day and will continue to build on it. At the end of the interview, the student asks what the next steps will be and thanks the interviewer for the opportunity to speak with them. Some great questions that you may want to, oh, I'm sorry, I think I missed one. Student has at least 1 job-related question prepared to ask the interviewer at the end of the interview. Some great questions to ask that will give you more insight into the position would include things like, what are your expectations of a newly hired MT? Is there room for advancement? What are the key responsibilities of this position? At the end of the interview, student asks what the next steps will be and thanks the interviewer for the opportunity to speak with them. Okay, let's look at our quick tips. The interview will be scheduled after you pass the cover letter and resume assignment. Review the evaluation checklist in the course. Be prepared. Make sure you're in a quiet place during the interview. Google common interview questions and answers. Stay focused and do not add information that is not pertinent to the questions. Try and relax. This is a great opportunity to practice your interview skills. What do you expect when applying for jobs? Many employers will request all or some of the following. An online test. The online test is very important when applying for the new job. This can sometimes be the deciding factor as to whether to proceed with your application or not. Take your time. Cover letters, although these are not always required. Always have one ready if necessary. If appropriate, you may be able to copy and paste the cover letter into the body of an email. Resume. The resume is very important in laying out your job skills and experience. Remember, you are applying for an MT position. Tailor your resume to that position. Job application. Some companies may ask you to complete an application. If completing an application and submitting a resume, please complete the application fully and do not say refer to resume in your responses. Employment interviews are an opportunity to further discuss your skills and let the employer know that you are excited about the position and would do a good job. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to reach out to an instructor through email, phone, or chat.